All right, so we're live. All right, so we just went live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our fifth and last, I hope not least, episode. I can see Daniel is laughing now. All right, so first of all, we wish really happy New Year to everyone. We really, I missed the last session, so. I really, I think the guys did really good job last time. All right, so welcome everyone. This is the fifth session of our series, the deep dive into the PMBOK 8 with the core team. Today we will have Eduardo Favari with us. Hello, Eduardo.
Hello,
Is,
nice to
is,
be
is that a
here.
Spanish or Italian name, Eduardo?
Eduardo is Italian in this case. I am based in Italy.
Ah, you're Italian.
Yeah. I
Nice
live in
meeting
Milan.
you. Yeah, we have also Rusbeh with us. Rusbeh, is it better with the voice, the sound now? Is it better? No.
I think it is now better. Now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Daniel, can you
Okay,
hear him?
okay,
Can you hear him, Daniel? Yeah, he
great.
can hear you.
So,
And
hi
of course,
everyone.
thank you. And of course, we have, as usual, my colleague Daniel with us. It's been really nice journey, Rusbeh. Really, I cannot believe we made it to the the entire series. We finished it. Really, seriously, it was really nice having the entire team with us almost. Actually, what my team was doing was, taking each episode and cutting it into pieces, and we are sharing it on our page in like smaller parts so people can enjoy it. So far, I think Rusbeh, we covered, I think, all the performance domains besides the first session, which was an introduction session. I think we've covered all the performance domains. We've covered pretty much a lot of the PMBOK 8. And of course, today we're going to talk about very specific parts of the PMBOK, mostly the appendix, but also something so important. Today we're going to talk about sustainability in project management. We're going to talk about PMO, about AI, artificial intelligence, okay, and we're going to talk about tailoring, which is, in my eyes, something so important for us as project management practitioners. And this is something getting more momentum from PMBOK, from earlier versions of the PMBOK. We started talking about tailoring. Now it's, I think, more obvious. So I think we will start with you, Eduardo. We would like to have an introduction about you. People would like, to hear more about you, to know who is Eduardo, and then we can deep dive into the different topics and questions we have.
Okay, thank you. Eduardo Favari. I am a senior project manager. I earned my life as a project manager in Capgemini engineering. In parallel, together with this, I teach in some university and business school, for example, at Politecnico di Milano Graduate School of Management and in IE Business School in Madrid, plus others. I also ordered some book, maybe the the most international is the Project Management Lived in Change that has been published by Springer. And I also met Roosbeck and many other friends now because I am one of the co-authors of the PMBOK 8. I am
Right.
Italian and I live in Milan, as I said, Ahmed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great. So, how was the relationship with the team? How was the work, the preparation for the PMBOK 8, Eduardo?
That's been, I was quite worried, no, because many people, not 12 people, put together, not knowing each other. We met for the kickoff meeting in LA. No, one day we jumped on a flight and we met in LA. So very cool, but also very challenging because everybody was excited. But on the other end, vision on project management are different anywhere for various reasons, no? Just for the personal experiences, the cultures that you have, and your profession, for example. Um, and so I was worried because, for example, I do some research in the academic field. And you know very well that the academy is quite full of people willing to be the first lady in the in the place. My really good surprise from this was that everybody was very humble. No? So the difference between the maybe the academy, for example, is that we were all expert. Hopefully, now we were selected because from those who applied, were expected to be the best one. On the other end, all of us were very humble, no? And we obviously had some conflict, no? Very good conflict in the good meaning of conflict. But everybody was open to discuss and to change his or her mind. And at a certain point, you have to make a decision, no? So
Yeah.
maybe sometimes a decision was not totally in agreement with my view, for example, but I accepted and made perfectly sense at the end. And the result, I think, is pretty good.
Good. Good. How are you, Rusbe? How was your vacation? Let's say if you had vacation.
No, not actually vacation. I am in a work trip, so I had to come to another city to visit a client. So for the last episode, I had a planned, scheduled trip, and now I'm here. I'm very happy to be here with Eduardo. He has a very positive energy and gives very great energy to the team. So let's go for the sustainability topics. I think that's this is the
Yeah.
favorite one for Eduardo.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good. So Eduardo is the sustainability person. So I'm sharing my screen here. Do you see my screen, guys? I think we see the
Yeah.
screen, right? Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. All right, Eduardo. So sustainability. It is not for the first time we hear it in project management. It is not for the first time we mention it, or it is mentioned by PMI, at least lightly, maybe just for the sake of mentioning before. But in PMBOK 8, with the new, let's say, the new definition of project management, the new way, how we want companies and organizations to look at project management, to understand the value of project management, then sustainability has come to a higher importance, a bigger importance. Let's start with a basic question. What is sustainability about, Eduardo, in project management?
Um, Sustainability, no, it's a word that is so used and misused in the last few years, no, decades probably. Uh, Sustainability is about, everybody knows, balancing the short-term needs of the present with the long-term needs, even to future generations. No? So this is the broad description. Very nice, very nice. But uh, the point is, as you said, Ahmed, how can we do this in project management? And this is rooted in the definition of project. That's why we needed to update, no? Really a little bit, but significantly, the definition of project, because the old school no, of project management, the one really focused on deliverables, would say, okay, very good that you have long-term objectives that your organization want to impact the future generations, but my project has a very clear deadline that is no few months up to few years could be, but I cannot take care of future generations, and in parallel no taking care about about the so broad variety of stakeholders, no, the definition of sustainability uh, leads us to including future generations, so very long-term timeline, and a vast variety of stakeholders, including the community, including the future generation, again, no, from the perspective of stakeholders. So that's why it's so challenging. And so on the paper, no, on the book, it's easy to describe. But when you are managing your project, no, all of us are project managers. We are not just trainer, no, or lecturer. We are project manager, and you know that when you have the deadlines and you have a budget, it's hard to tell your project sponsor and your stakeholders, your key stakeholders, okay, maybe you can include this and this to address grand challenges, to address future generation. Okay, so how can we do that? We need to work no, since the beginning. So the definition of project now says to create value, not to create a deliverable. No, the old definition was product, service, or results. Now we are talking about value. What is the value? No, discussing, going into deep on what is the value for the organization, for the sponsor, for the stakeholders, and addressing that, having a meaningful budget for that. No, it's not for free, but the value that you create is bigger and bigger than the initial value, the initial cost. Sorry.
Eduardo, so if I may, add another question. So by sustainability and thinking of the future generations, do I understand that, for example, we should not work on projects or create deliverables that would harm the current generations, the future generations, or maybe actually when we produce something, we should also think about the far future. Like for example, if we work on projects in the energy sector, in the environmental sector, even in the technology sector, is that what sustainability means in the PMBOK 8?
It's a principle. No, sustainability in PMBOK 8 is a principle, so it is in the standard. And as a principle, it's very broad. No, it's not that strict or narrow. The point is that from one side, you have to consider also the long-term impact. So when you design your project, when you make the feasibility study of your project, you are requested to address also the long term. That is not new to project management, because product management is exactly that. No, think about the whole life cycle. The point is that the life cycle, the benefits that a project makes during the time, even after they go very after its end. So considering this part, it's new, not to project manager from some perspective. In addition, there is a lot of things that happens anyway. It's like when you consider stakeholders. Stakeholders are there anyway. You have not to select your stakeholders. When you create a project, stakeholders are there. The same are the benefits, the long-term benefits. Maybe your project, what could be? Could be, for example, Rusbek, you are traveling maybe for you're at a customer premises. Sometimes you are traveling for giving lectures here and there. So the project of giving lectures is about going there and saying that things. Maybe there is an exam at the end, but for free. For free. That is, even if you don't want, you give an impact to people that are in your classroom, for example. Sustainability is about thinking also on those things that happens anyway, taking care of that, because you have no choice, they happen. So sustainability is about, okay, planting many nice trees and taking consideration or taking into account of future generation, but really in concrete, think about what happens to my project when it finishes? What is the heritage that it left? And any project, not only the big ones we are used to talk about, wonderful the Apollo program, the Polaris project, the COVID-19 vaccine, things like that. But also in our small projects that maybe we are more used to manage every day, this thing happens. That is, you have an impact in the world, or maybe in your community, in the community where you are working. The community can be local or global. For example, now we are having this discussion at global level in the community of project management. There will be something that will be lasting. Thinking about that is the key for sustainability. In many cases, it's for free. You just need to address these things.
Yeah.
May I add one thing, Ahmed?
Please.
First of all, when I face the word of sustainability, and I think every of us also do that, that we think that it means taking care of the environment. Because everything is about environment, it's about planet. But when I had a deep dive into the sustainability during the PMBOK 8, and while I was teaching Prince 2 version 7, the new version of the Prince 2, then I find out that as Eduardo mentioned, there are other dimensions about sustainability. For example, when we are thinking about profit sustainability, it is about help the other people, help the other organization around you to gain benefits, not just yourself. It is about value. It is not about just value for money. It is about value for many. So how you can create value for many people, for more people, and even the next generation, and not just using the value for yourself. So I think this gives better meaning for me about the sustainability, to create value for many people, and it considers the environment, it considers the profits, help even the contractor gain profit. Some people think that contractor should not gain profit, but I would say if you want to advance in your project, you need to help your contractor to level up. So you need to advance people, you need to level up your contractor, and that helps you to achieve the sustainability. This is just my point of view.
And it's very, very important, Roosevelt, what you said, because there are many dimensions. I don't want to be misunderstood. We still need deliverables. The point is not that now we forget about deliverables. Deliverables are very important because we pay our wages. Today profit is essential, because if we lose today profit, probably we won't be able to sustain long-term deliverables. So still focus on deliverables. I had a discussion with a friend of mine that is a very good guy in project management, and because in a presentation that he did about sustainability, there were the cemetery with the rest in peace iron triangle. Have you ever seen rest in peace iron triangle? I definitely don't agree with that. We need the iron triangle. That is a piece of the cake, but we also have to manage the rest of the thing, because if we go to our project sponsors and we say, okay, PMBOK 8 only want us to be sustainable, so forget the iron triangle. Probably the project sponsor is totally scared and ask for someone else to manage the the project. So obviously, our project sponsor needs us to manage even the short term, the deliverable, the iron triangle. Above this, There is much more that we can do. There is much more value that we can create in many cases, according to me, at the same budget, not just because we are addressing this long-term value.
Yeah.
And that's why I advocate sustainability.
Eduardo and Ruzbeh, can we have, please, 2 or 3 concrete examples of projects from different sectors, different industries, where we can show how we can maintain sustainability or plan for the sustainability to make it a little easier for the audience to follow through and to understand how to really apply that in reality. Because, for example, in my PMP course, I teach the first chapter a little bit about sustainability, and I mentioned that when we are starting a new project, already since the business case, we need to think about how we can preserve or maintain the 3 Ps, for example, the people, the profit, and the planet or the earth, with whatever it contains. And we need to ensure that whatever profit we make or whatever benefits we make, that is being sustainable. And in also, when we work on projects, we should not create deliverables that would harm, the environment, for example, and not just the environment, as Rosbeh mentioned. So can we have 2, 3 examples so people can better understand how this principle, of sustainability, it can be really applied, or translated in their projects?
Definitely. As Rusbe said, if I can, Rusbe, if you want to go first, you're free.
No, please go first.
So sustainability is about managing, balancing the 3 pillars, no? The profit, the planet, and people. Think about this. If you have a project that is very good from the profit, no? From the financial point of view, and it is also planting many trees around the site. You can figure out an energy project. I don't know. So it's very good. Is it sustainable? It's very good from the financial point of view and from the environmental point of view. You leave your site after the project with many trees, many nice flowers and things like that. Okay, but the community, no, maybe is against that. What is called the legitimacy. No, the legitimacy is how the community, a community, sees your customer, your stakeholders, see your organization, your project. So for some reason, for example, what could be? In some case, for example, communities are against a project because the manpower that is used in the project is not local. So the community was expecting you to use local manpower. Instead, you are bringing manpower from someone else for cutting cost, or you are giving so low wages for many reasons, no? Things like that. So you lose the legitimacy, you lose the support of the community. So you are not sustainable at the end of the day. Another example are, for example, here in Europe, we have so many tramways, no? The public transport, the tramways are typically very nice because cities are transformed. You have the new public transport, the tramway. You typically have all the neighbor sites all nice and cleaned and planted with beautiful trees. So is it sustainable? Communities typically appreciate this kind of project. So it's very sustainable. On the other end, they cost so much. So the cost, the investment, and the operational part is also very expensive. No, typically the ticket you pay is not covering the whole cost, even the operational cost. So is it sustainable? It's not. We are throwing cost on future generations. Can you see what I mean? These are examples of projects that are not really balancing the three pillars. In this way, we need to work in all these dimensions. Ahmed, if I can, you mentioned PMP, no? And we know very well, I am also involved in teaching PMP classes. The new examination content outline is mentioning sustainability.
Yeah, correct.
From my perspective, quite surprisingly, it's only mentioning sustainability in compliance. No, if you see sustainability as a compliance matter, it's a cost. It's an extra effort, and it's quite typical that when you have some issue, when your project face some issue, the first thing to be cut is sustainability. So when we will teach our classes, we'll say that sustainability must be managed for compliance. But actually, one thing that is said in the community is that sustainability must be invisible, must be something that we do anyway. No, it's something in our mindset, in everybody's mindset. If you deal with sustainability as a compliance matter, it's quite tricky from my perspective, personal perspective. The principle of sustainability that we wrote, there are a few pages now in the PMBOK, should let us create the sustainability mindset. Then you also have you need a way for measuring if you are effective from the sustainability point of view. So obviously you need some metrics and some compliance point at some point. But the first thing is the mindset, and the principle of sustainability that I contributed to write goes in this direction, at least for my purpose.
As you said, it's a mindset, Eduardo, and there should be some emphasis. Look, I'm going to speak a little broader than the PMP, than the PMBOK 8. I'm going to speak a little broader than this. Now, if I go back to what I heard from Kelly Hoya, who is the Vice President Learning at PMI, when she said that 1/3 of the world's economy is based on projects. And this is why the whole world needs to understand the importance of project management. And since we're thinking about the world, the 3 Ps, the people, the planet, Earth, and the profit, I think sustainability should be more emphasized, not just in a certification exam such as the PMP, but even by big organizations such as PMI. We need really to stress enough on sustainability, because we live in a world now where, as much as we need technology and advancements and AI and stuff, as much as we need to preserve what we currently have for the future of us and the future generations. And I think this topic of sustainability should gain and get more and more importance if we really want to go into safer, cleaner, greener, and better ways of managing projects. That's what I think about sustainability. And Rusbe, do you have, or do you want to add anything on sustainability?
Let me give you an example about not using the principle of sustainability and what will happen in a project or in a country. In the principle of sustainability, we mentioned that sustainability should be integrated in all aspects of the project. And I think one of those aspects is about deciding, is about initiating a project. And we have a case in my country. My country have faced with a water crisis in many different areas. And what happened in some areas in my country, we had some dry areas that we didn't have enough water. So we initiated a project to transfer water with a pipeline from 200 or 300 kilometers from another area to this area, to solve this problem, but with this decision, we created two problems. So when we are talking about sustainability, it is about thinking about what will happen in the future. It is about system thinking. So now, after 10 years, you have water crisis in two areas because we're transferring water from one area which is rich in the water to another area which is dry. You have some effects on that area. The population grows. So because now we have more water, so you transfer the water, population grows, and now you still have lack of water. So this is about not considering sustainability in the decisions in the project and what will happen not 1 year later, but 10 years later, and now you have two major problems and you don't know what to do. So I want to mention when we were talking in the PMBOK 8 about the mindset, about the principle, I think we have process, we have tools and techniques, we have knowledge, we have everything. But we need a paradigm shift in our mindset. We need to think different. Otherwise, you will face the consequences like this.
Right. All right. So I really, the people present here in this live, I think all of us are project management practitioners. I think the more awareness there is about sustainability in project management, not just the theoretical part, I mean the practical part, really, how we can think about the sake and the benefit of whoever is working on the project, for whoever we're working on the project, and wherever we're working on the project, and whenever we're working on the project. I hope really, because this is such an important topic for us as people who care, and this is part of the not just project management ethics, but also project management responsibility. Okay, so I expect also, this sustainability will be translated in the PMP exam, for example, in a few questions, and we will see whether with the current trial exams, PMP exams, which some of the students are taking, or the official version, which is going to be released in July. Before moving on to talk about the next topic, Eduardo or Rusbe, anything you want to add, guys, on the sustainability?
If I can, sorry, then we shut up. One word that I'm very proud to have put in the principle is the devil, is greenwashing. Greenwashing is the term that we use on sometimes it also refers as rainbow washing. Greenwashing is when you talk about sustainability, but you are really exploiting the topic of sustainability just for marketing purpose, for communication purposes. But you just go on with the worst thing, the short-term perspective things. And greenwashing is a term that I would like everybody to be used with. Because when you see sometimes the CEOs, sometimes the communication, sometimes some company that is saying, oh, we are super sustainable, but at the end of the day, they are wasting so much resources in other ways, just for communication, just exploiting the word of sustainability because is trendy, is now in style, is the devil for sustainability. The reason why when we sometimes we hear about sustainability, we say, oh my God, again, sustainability. No, really. That's because of greenwashing. We have been used in the last 2 decades to listen about people talking about sustainability, but actually doing quite the opposite. So I recommend everybody to see greenwashing in the text and think about it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to talk about the project management office. I think there is I think there is something new in the PMBOK 8 about the PMO. I've been following since version 3. That's the first version I read of the PMBOK. And the PMO in most of the PMBOK versions so far, until version 7 at least, and also the PMP exam, it was not, it wasn't touched so deeply. It was mostly focusing on the three major types of the PMO, like supportive, controlling, and directive, or leading PMO. And it was mostly, introducing PMO as this, body which, sets the project management profession, provides training, depending on the type of the PMO, of course, whether it's supportive, controlling, or leading. But it was not deep diving into PMO. However, in the past 2 years, at least in the past year, there is a new certification that started gaining momentum, from PMI, which is the PMI PMO CP, okay, the Project Management Office Certified Practitioner. And it started introducing new types of PMO, new version of the PMO, new definition of the PMO as a service provider. Now, if I would start with the hot question, how much of that content from the PMO guide and whatever content is shared at the PMI PMOCP certification exam, how much of that Rusbeh has been taken into consideration into the PMBOK part or the PMBOK appendix and the PMBOK 8?
Thank you for that question, Ahmed. Actually, as you mentioned, PMO didn't have significant roles in the previous version of the PMBOK. We had just one paragraph or 1 to 2 pages about the PMO. And somehow it made some complicated situation because, for example, I had several students. I had several instances that people become PMP certified, and then they go to their organization and create a PMO office or PMO department, and they didn't know what should included in that PMO structure. I usually recommended those people, please don't do that. You have to be in the project from the start to finish, and it is not like that to going and creating a department of the PMO. I just want to mention a funny story. I had a friend working in Canada, and I mentioned to that person, he had a consultancy company regarding PMO establishment. And when I mentioned to him that I remind my student that please don't go and starting with a PMO structure in your company. You need to follow some initial steps. He mentioned, I would like that because they do a mess. We clean the mess. So we don't want to be like that. With the new PMO standards in PMI, I think we introduce rich content regarding the PMO, and we included that in the appendix of PMBOK 8. Actually, we try to be aligned with the standard and the guide for PMO, and I think it helps us to emphasize on the role of the PMO in the organization, that the PMO is not just a process-driven entity focusing on standardizing methodologies. No, we think that PMO is above that. It is about alignment. It is about emphasizing on tailoring the value, tailoring the content and the context for the customers, for the stakeholders. And Actually, if I want to answer you, yes, we try to be in compliance and inconsistent with the PMO standard. And it is not just about this. We will talk about it in AI also, because there were another document, and we don't want to put everything here. We just wanted to emphasize on the value of the PMO. And if you want to find out more about the PMO, actually, you need to go through that fantastic guide about the PMO.
Interesting. All right, that makes sense. However, there is a question, Ruzbe and Eduardo here. Now, yes, there is now more importance given to the PMO, and we expect, the project manager to know more about, the PMO functions, PMO roles, PMO types, etc. We might even expect more questions about PMO, even in various certifications, mainly the PMP one. However, there is this famous question, okay? Many people are asking, what's the difference between a project manager and a PMO? Are they the same? Are they different? Can a project manager be a PMO? Can a PMO be a project manager? Many people try to answer this. I personally have shared little post today about that. Just a little one, really. It's not enough because explaining this can take pages and pages. I just shared a little view on this. What's your view, Eduardo and Rusbe, on this? Or what's your answer to this question? The difference between
Should I,
PM.
Rusbe?
Yes, sure.
Okay. It's very hard, no, Ahmed? I saw your post today, so it's really essential and meaningful. The point is that project manager is the guy, no, leading one project or a bunch of small projects. PMO is not doing that, no. If you should not expect that your PMO manages projects. It also depends on the level of maturity of your organization, because in some organization the PMO is almost a secretary, no, for the project. It's just preparing the presentations and getting data here and there in an Excel spreadsheet, maybe. No, there are other perspectives that are more and more than that. So PMO, first of all, is not the secretary of the project. Is much more than that. Instead of the leadership of the single projects, the perspective of the PMO is on the vision, on the program and portfolios. Now, this is the first thing that I can say, and I leave Rusbe to elaborate better than me.
If I want to elaborate that, I have to mention that why we have PMO in organization. Projects are temporary initiatives. So we start the project and finish the project, and people, knowledge, process may be we may lose them. So we need to retain them. We need to keep them because we don't want to reinvent the wheel. So we need a department to help the projects, not reinventing the wheel. For example, if we are using a process in a project and it works, it can be usable in other projects. Or if it doesn't work, we can fix it and use it in other projects. So we need a department to have the role of facilitation, role of the governance, role of sharing knowledge between the projects. So that's why we need PMO at the first level. But I want to mention, depending on the maturity of the organization, depending on the organizational structure, depending on the reporting line, the PMO you need is different. And actually, the responsibility and functionality of the PMO is different. So maybe in some organization, you may need a PMO to manage the project because you are in a functional organization that every function play a role of just their function, a specific function, and the integration is lost. So maybe a PMO can help to manage the integration, but otherwise in a project organization, a project-based organization, you may need just a supportive PMO. So I would say these roles are complementary. We have the project manager to follow up the project from the first until the end. But the PMO is not just about one project. It is about combination of the project. And it is not about having responsibility for one project, but having responsibility about the organization, about the value, about the strategies, and about the objectives that needs to be met with these projects.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's very important. That's very important statement you mentioned, because uh, it's very important for people to understand that the project manager is working on a temporary initiative. Usually, temporary means months. Before, in the past, temporary used to mean years. But in the current times, with the current economic situations, with the current technological advancements, with the current shift in the people's mindsets, projects are better to last months. And even if a project needs to last years, it's better to break it down into, or consider it as a program, and break it down into projects that would last months, and then we can adapt with whatever shifts in the enterprise environmental factors, or the factors surrounding the enterprise and the project. And therefore, if the project manager's role is supposed to last for months, the project manager needs to understand that PMO actually is a body, is an entity that is responsible. Like, for example, now we have the PMBOK 8 released. Today, for example, I mentioned in my post when I explained how I was a PMO. When I was a PMO, for example, whenever there was a new PMBOK released, as a PMO entity, we were taking that PMBOK, we were understanding it, and then updating our processes, our templates, our governance systems, our everything related to project management. Because in the company where I used to work, we wanted really to follow the best practices or the latest practices from PMI, for example. Okay, so, and that could take some while, because updating all your e-learning courses or your training programs and all of that, it took time. But however, let's mention this: PMO is really, really important, whether it's supportive, whether it's controlling, whether it's directive, whether it's whether it's the newer way of the newer definition of the PMO as a service provider. The role of the PMO is so important. And really, I personally want to say this: one of the reasons why I personally have conducted the free PMO training and shared the entire content on YouTube is for one purpose. I wanted to contribute to my colleagues' efforts worldwide, okay, by really letting everyone have the possibility to access some material about PMO for free, so they can understand the importance of PMO. Because as Eduardo said, some companies consider PMOs just as a secretary or a supportive role. They just create some templates or provide some support, and then whenever there is a cost freeze or a cost cut in a company, one of the first roles to go away is PMO. And I saw that. So I really appreciate how you guys emphasized a little bit on PMO. And I think there will be fewer or newer questions on PMO, even in the PMP certification exam. Is there anything else, Eduardo, that people need to know about the way how you guys presented the PMO role in the PMBOK 8?
But this, in my opinion, brings us back to the concept of value. What is the value? As you said, the first row to be cut is PMO, because if it is seen as a pure cost, okay, right, to cut it. But what is the value that is creating? For example, Rusbe mentioned the lesson learned. What is the value of having shared the lesson learned project by project? We repeat this in our courses, no? But in reality, how hard is to share lesson learned from one project to the other? No, in many cases, lesson learned are into the project manager and the project team themselves. So again, clarifying, as Rusbe said, what is the role that you want and what is the value you expect that the PMO creates over, beyond the presentation, beyond the Excel spreadsheets, beyond the graphs. And you also need some leadership having a long-term perspective, because again, PMO is about long-term. It's not about the months, Ahmed, as you said. No, the few months project last must see over and over that. So again, the mindset of the leadership of the organization is essential to have an effective PMO that can be so valuable, no? Can give so much value. Or on the other end, being the secretary of anybody in the company.
Right. Yeah.
I want Ahmed to add one sentence. I think the new PMOs need to be more adaptive and more dynamic. So when you are talking about adaptability and about the hybrid things in the project, I would say that the level in the PMO should be much more higher, because you are working with different projects, different contexts, and different variables. So you need to create those adaptability.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. And I really encourage everyone, really, as Rusbe said, read the PMO guide. Go, for example, you can watch our free course on PMO. It really highlights, the shift in the mindset of the PMO, the shift of the way PMI presented PMO, not, as a service provider who really wants to, deliver value to their customers being project managers, program managers, portfolio managers, sponsors, etc. I really, and if you guys want me to answer the question from my side, from my point of view, difference between project manager and PMO, let me tell you this. In the past, 20 years ago, when I started as a PMO, almost 20 years ago, when I started as a PMO, it was always the first step into the project management world. So, people usually start as a PMO, they gained experience on project management, on methodologies, on templates, on tools, how to use them, how to do reporting, how to create presentations, etc. And then they started managing their first projects as a junior project manager or a project manager, okay? Now, it could be still the same, but, I think both roles, it's not like you shift from PMO to PM and back from PM to PMO. It's actually, you can mature a lot in PMO and you can mature a lot as a project manager. And it's fine. Like, you could spend years here, years there. Can a project manager be a PMO? If they have enough experience, if they have really enough expertise, and they would be able to set up an entire PMO in a company, yes, why not? Can a PMO lead projects? Actually, there is the directive PMO who can lead projects. Yes, sometimes PMOs can take over projects like troubled projects, delayed projects, complex projects. They can even take projects directly if necessary, okay, even though it's better if that's done by the project managers, okay? So it's not black or white. Yeah, both roles are so close. They cooperate a lot, and I expect to see more questions on PMO in the PMP exam, and I think the PMO is the wider, the bigger view on project management, since the project manager focuses mainly on the project, at least for their first years in their career, until they gain more experience by working on various projects, various programs, and be able later on to have the broader view as the PMO. All right, so I think you guys would be more curious to read about the PMO, the PMBOK 8. And now I think we can touch on one of the topics that people were waiting for so long. since already a couple of years ago, many people started talking about AI, artificial intelligence. Are we going to see it in the PMBOK 8? What is it going to do in the PMBOK 8? What's the relationship between AI and the project manager? Even there are so many posts. In 2025, LinkedIn was full of posts, really, about AI replacing project managers, taking over project managers' work. What's the relationship between project manager and AI? Many people went to say that a project manager who doesn't, a project manager will be used by another project manager who uses AI. Then PMI, launched the certification for AI for project managers, and we had Kathleen Walsh. I think she was. Daniel, please, can you help remind me who did we have for that session of the live? That
Kathleen Walsh.
Was Kathleen, right? Kathleen.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, one of the co-creators of the PMI CPM AI certification. Okay, now with the PMBOK one, let me tell you this, Rusbe and Eduardo, because I'm so close to the community, and let me tell you this: the first point everyone jumped to in the PMBOK 8, whether in the draft version or in the final version, was the AI appendix. Everyone wanted to know, how does PMI present AI in the PMBOK 8? Now let's go to the ones who run the PMBOK 8. Rusbe and Eduardo, let me ask you this question directly. How did you guys present AI in the PMBOK 8?
It's for me. I start, Rusbe. But AI is a trendy topic now, so no way that the PMBOK 8 goes out without something about AI. No? In addition, AI is so broad and so changing every day. No, so from one side, we cannot skip the topic, even if at the end of the day it's a tool. No? What is AI? It's a tool that we can use. But now it's so trendy and so important in the changes that it is introducing that was worthing a full appendix. On the other hand, the risk is that to write something that gets old the day after you're writing. And it's almost happening now, because you have mentions about generative AI, but you don't have about agents and agentic AI. That is the direction we are now going. So obviously there is the risk. But what is the purpose of PMBOK in general now? Not only the PMBOK 8, is to give a high-level perspective on project management. So what we did is to develop an appendix that says, okay, we have AI. Today, we clearly wrote today the level of use of AI is this, and this. We provided some case study, let's say some use case for it, but and also the ethical threats that are there, that are significant. But that's it. Again, PMI developed a guide on AI that is broader and broader than what we wrote in PMBOK. We took into account what is written there for consistency, obviously, but the aim of PMBOK is to provide high-level perspective on anything. We dealt with leaving details to other publication books and standards.
So, Rusbe,
if I want to add to what Eduardo mentioned, because we had discussion regarding the AI, I think one of the big questions was about, if we have AI, why do we need PMBOK 8? Because we have AI. But I would say AI is the assistant. We are generating the knowledge, and we want to give some input to the project management community. So when we work on PMBOK or other standards, we are generating some forms of knowledge that we think people can use that to enhance the project success. But what AI can do, I think, it is my perspective, we highlighted the AI as a supportive tool, some high-tech tool, as an assistant, because I think, and I mentioned it in my classes, I am a person that a high-tech tool is not my favorite, because I think we need some low-tech, high-touch food, because projects are about people. It's about managing people. And you cannot manage people with AI. I think at the moment you cannot do that, because it is about people. People are not numbers. So we highlighted AI in the PMBOK because we think that AI would be a good supportive tool, would be a great assistant for repetitive tasks, for performing routines. So you had some repetitive tasks, you had some routines, and that AI can help you and can give you great advantages. And also, we had some high-tech tools. And for example, when you need high-tech tools, I think AI can help you to create those, to give you some results that you need to work for several weeks, but AI can help you to save time to create those deliverables or those results. So I think we are in a fuzzy phase that we are not sure that how can we use AI, and we are trying AI in different dimensions. We have to see the result, and I think the output is not clear at the moment. So it is about researching. It is about touching new things. I read a book from Seth Godin. It's about poke the box. And I think we are poking the box. So we are using AI in different dimensions, in different situations to see what will be the result. But I think at the moment, the main important advantage from AI is about supporting, it's about assisting and helping to giving insight, not the decision making, but making this, helping us and supporting decision making.
Rosemary, let me continue, please, with this question. Let me continue with you. I mean, what would your answer be to some people who are saying that, okay, now on AI will manage the project and the project manager will focus on the people and the leadership? That would be the way we're going forward for the next 5 years. Slowly, we're going to get there. Probably by 2029, 2030. The most of the technical project management work, like documentation, reporting, forecasting, performance measurement, planning, etc. All of that will be done or will be automated by AI. So the project manager can focus more on communication, leadership, conflict resolution, stakeholder engagement, team development, etc. Do you think that's right? Do you think that's how project management will be in the next 5 years?
It is just my opinion. You know what is the major dilemma and major challenge of the project managers in the project? Do you know what is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
The biggest dilemma?
Yeah. The major challenge, the major dilemma in the project for project managers.
Many things. I would say the keeping stakeholders engaged, keeping the team motivated, keeping project on track.
Yeah.
I don't know. There may be many
Everything
things.
is about, yeah, everything is about dealing with people.
Yeah.
So everything is about dealing with the people. If you have the best plan created with the best AI, who are going to implement those plans. So I would say in the final steps, you're talking about people. So I would say with most advanced planning, what's mentioned General Eisenhower, that plans are nothing, planning is everything. And when you're talking about the plan, it's about getting feedback. I would say AI could be a good assist to gathering data, feedbacks, and simulate them and help us to have better decision making. But in the final, we as the project managers need to deal with people, with emotions, with the feelings, because they are not numbers. So I cannot imagine at the moment. I would say if the picture you described, the picture you described could happen if we replace people with robots. Then I would maybe at that moment you can have you don't need a project manager to lead the feelings. And I would say in that moment, I don't know where what should we do and what will be our responsibility. But we had a conflict now regarding dealing with people and the role of AI to have impact on that side. I'm not sure about that, but I would say, for example, when we are in a brainstorming meeting to gather risk or collect risk, I would say AI could be there as a separate and independent person to give insight. Not the final person, but I would say a separate one to give insight like others. And that can help us. So I would say, please take care about how you are using AI, because in the final step, people are doing the project at the moment.
At the moment, exactly. I like that. At the moment, people are still doing the work, on the project, because the way we see technological advancements, okay, it's not the same in all, in all the countries. It's more advanced in certain countries, it's less advanced in other countries. But now, technology, machines, they're doing more and more of the human work, whether it's painting, whether it's harvesting trees, whether it's repairing cars, whether it's doing this and that. So that's why some people are worried and say, okay, if machines could do a lot of our work, even sometimes babysitting is being done by machines. I used to watch that in the cartoons in the 1980s, the 1990s. I used to watch that only the cartoons, seeing robots doing the whole housework, etc. Now, slowly, slowly, it's coming reality, not just in the housework, but even in the different sectors, different professions. That's why if we ever see machines doing the work of the humans and AI thinking like humans, that's why some people got that fear that what if everything will be done by AI and robots. But as you said, for now, for the time being, I personally don't see machines taking over people's work for some years to come. And again, it depends on the region, on the country. So really, project managers, our advice to you is focus on doing your work right, understand your processes, understand your client, understand the value you want to create, and you need to deliver. Okay, make the AI at your service. Don't worry about it. Make it at your service. For example, as a project manager, there are many tasks I wish AI could do because I need to focus on other things. Like, for example, taking meeting minutes, preparing the report, tracking the progress, with the team, because we can do it automatically, in automated way in certain tools, updating the reports, forecasting, measuring the performance. It can be very helpful for me. If AI could do the earned value analysis for me, for example, it make it much easier for me in a great day, by giving me concrete and exact correct data by, AI or, whatever tool we're using, extracts the data from the different databases or different tools we use and gives me exact correct figures. Usually in the past, I used to spend a day or a day and a half just, measuring my earned value, just, creating my different reports. Those are some of the things, we'd love AI to help us with. But of course, there is project management is not just about documentation, updating repositories, making reports and meeting minutes. It's much more than that, really. Daniel is a great guy here. Who talks a lot about leadership in project management and project managers. I think Eduardo, you might agree with this, Eduardo. Project managers do more than just either reporting and documenting, and more than just talking to stakeholders and leading teams. They're the connection, and really, we're so important in the project that our role is not just reporting, automating reports and documentation, and it's not just leading. It's actually we're like a person who has the entire view, the entire project orchestrated by us, because anything could go haywire, anything could go wrong at any moment, and it takes human touch to be able to know what to do, how to fix it at the right time. What would you say about this?
Ahmed, because if you are the kind of project manager that just sending reports and following the plan, okay, you are fucked. sorry for saying you are fucked. No, AI is there for you. No, probably it's like the debt is your debt. But on the other end, the main misunderstanding with AI is the I, no, intelligence. It's not any kind of intelligence. No, it's a tool. No, it's a fantastic tool. It's a turbo stupid. No, because you see when you ask the chatbot to generate to generate text, no, or images now that they are doing great jobs. No, when they generate text, I am so happy. No, when I see ChatGPT, for example, is doing a great job. The last version. But they are totally stupid. No? You feed them and you have to check. No? Would you send a document generated by AI without reviewing it? So the point is between responsibility. Okay, we can ask the AI to generate the minute of meeting. Fantastic. No, the R in the RASI metrics is for AI, but the accountability, the A, stands in the project manager cell, no doubt. And then I don't see anything even at the horizon today that would steal the A in the box of the project manager. So I'm quite I'm sleeping dream of beauty, guys. I'm fine with it. AI is a fantastic tool, and I'm looking forward to having agentic AI, to automatize some process, some complex process that is already possible, not at some level, but probably a lot is still to come. Generative AI is there. We are not losing our job for that, but we are having supports. No, when you have your meeting, you start the transcription. That at the end you ask for a minute meeting, you review it, and maybe you send through an automated email. You can do things like that. Agentic AI will do much more than that, and will be great. Will be better and better to be a project manager with a background of a strong AI support, but still projects are done for humans. If in case, Ahmed, projects are no longer done for humans, the project is not, the problem is no longer losing your job, probably something else.
Yeah. A very great point from Eduardo. I want to mention and highlight this, and it is very scary, and I see it a lot during past months that people use AI and they don't review the result. They just present it, and it is very scary. And in the meeting, when I mentioned what does it come from, it says ChatGPT mentioned that. Okay, where does it come from? I don't know. ChatGPT mentioned that. I could do that myself. Why you are get paid for what you are get paid? So it is very important that ChatGPT or other AIs are just assistants, and you need to review their results like other persons, because sometimes they generate some meaningless results, and you cannot find any references for those. I had many instances that I had some results, and when I checked what is the reference, he couldn't show that AI machine couldn't show me any references for that. So I would say this is very scary. I see it a lot in the meetings that people come with several pages documents that generated with AI, that the person doesn't have any sense about that. So I would say it is very, very scary now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, being misused probably. Just one last question, please, Ruzbe, before we move on to the last topic of this session. When you, the core team of the PMBOK 8, prepared the appendix for the AI, was it based on any real practical cases of how AI is being used by the project managers?
Uh, I think we created some instances about using AI in project management in the AI appendix. But truly, I have to mention that we didn't went very deep in the AI, because there were another team working on the AI, and we just wanted to highlight the use of the AI. And if you want to know more about the AI, I think there is another guide, and there is another fantastic team working on AI with the knowledge of the AI. So this is my point of view about this.
Yeah, yeah. When we talked with Kathleen Walsh, one of the co-creators of the PMI CPMAI certification, she mentioned that they focused a lot on the certification about how to manage AI projects rather than how AI is helping project managers. But yeah, I personally, even personally, the PMBOK exam, I can tell people now what I think. It's not like, that's the reality. What I think is the PMP exam, there will be a few questions about AI, no technical questions, nothing technical about AI, but rather cases and situations where AI, where the project manager uses or automates part of his or her work, and sometimes a result being presented by AI, which must be double checked by the project manager before presenting it to the stakeholders. And I think there'll be some questions in the PMP exam where stakeholder comes to the project manager and says, "Hey, I'm using some AI tools. It says this and that, but what you have delivered is not exactly what AI said. And how would you solve that situation as a project manager?" These are some of the cases I imagine that will be part of the PMP exam. Anyway, we will see more soon, very soon. Okay.
And Ahmed, the threats, no, probably questions could meet, could mention the threats, the copyrights, the transparency of what is said, no, the sources of what is said, all threats that are the biases. Again, all things that can be that must be checked again by the project manager. You cannot take even if it's meaningful, no, even if it's not stupid, maybe makes sense. Probably some student of yours tried to answer by ChatGPT to PMP questions. No, what happens is that ChatGPT and the others, get the wrong answer, giving a fantastic explanation why the wrong answer is the right answer. And sometimes they come to me and say, Eduardo, no, the right answer is the other one. Look at this. But it's not. So again, this is an hint on what the meaning of being a project manager, accountable for what happens in the project should be, and maybe the PMP questions will happen.
Yeah. One of my favorite topics, guys, is tailoring. I'm so much in love with tailoring. Why? Because since over a decade, more, even before 2015, I always knew that we cannot say this is the perfect project management methodology. We need to follow on all our projects. I remember, I think 2014, I started working in a company in Switzerland, and the first task I think they gave me was to establish a PMO, and they wanted to have a standardized project management approach that all project managers could use in their projects. But then we figured that it's not possible because each project is different, each project is unique. And then at the time, with the rise of the agile and the Scrum became more popular, etc. I personally, as a person coming from a waterfall school, but at the same time, I transitioned into an agile school. I found benefits in here, I found benefits in there, and I wanted to combine them so I can tailor my processes, my tools, my the techniques I use to fit with the real needs of the project. So, Ruzbe, what's tailoring exactly about?
When tailoring is exactly enough.
No. What is tailoring exactly about? What is tailoring in
Oh,
project management?
I understand. I think tailoring in the project management is about adaptability. So it is about fitting something with your need. It is about fitness for use. So I think tailoring is about, at the end, tailoring is about fitness for use. So you have lots of methods, tools, and techniques. You have lots of processes, but not all of those are usable for you, and not all of those are fitting with your environment, with your context. So tailoring is about fitness for use. And I would say it is about adaptability and not about agile. I mentioned something that you need to change. You need to change everything until it fits you, and it is adaptability. Even if you are using a predictive approach, you need to change everything to make it fit with your project. So uh, I like your third question regarding the tailoring. I would say tailoring is not in a straight line. Tailoring is not about a fixed framework. Tailoring is about learning, repeating, and learning. And it is not the same for different companies. You cannot copy a tailoring process from this company to another company. It is unique. It is a unique process. It is a iterative process. So tailoring is about learning about your processes, about your projects. I don't know if I could give your
Yeah.
answer.
Eduardo, do you think tailoring could mean the rise of the hybrid project management gaining more momentum and importance compared to the waterfall, the pure waterfall, and the pure agile approaches?
Yeah. The perspective is this, and the expectation by PMI, as far as I know, it's my opinion, is for, again, a mindset for project managers to be able to tailor suit, the dress around each project. I'm also coming from the waterfall. I was born as a civil engineer, so very construction oriented and very, very waterfall. But I see the benefits of tailoring, of adapting. There are always many things that you can tailor in your projects. Agile still remains, no? So some project will be managed in a pure Scrum, I think, or pure agile approaches. The pure waterfall is it's harder to find. No, the volatility of markets today are not good, even for construction projects. I am personally managing some EPC projects, and I also hybridate. Now I put some element, for example, in the governance, in some phase, in the design phase, in the procurement phase, in the commissioning phase. You need to be more adaptable, as Rutsbe said. So the point is, everything is hybrid. Now, maybe Ahmed, you said the expectation is like that. The expectation is that every project manager is able to understand the project, obviously, the context, the stakeholder, and the ecosystem where the project is developed, and to adapt, to find the suite, no, tailor-made for the project.
Yeah. Rusbe, what's new with tailoring in PMBOK 8 compared to the previous versions?
I can't say that there are lots of new content on the tailoring in the PMBOK 8, because I think it is not about having different framework or having different content. What we have about the tailoring on PMBOK 7, I think it was a great content. So we had just some correction on that, because I want to insist on this, that tailoring is about adaptability, and to have adaptability, you need to have alternatives. So how you can have alternatives when you know agile, when you know predictive, when you know iterative, when you know incremental, and when you know hybrid, then you have adaptability, and then you can tailor. So it is about the mindset, and I think we don't have much changes in we didn't have much changes in the framework, because we think it is not about having a very rigid framework that it is the tailoring and please apply this in your project. Now, I would say tailoring is about adaptability. It is about reaching your toolkit to have different options, and when you need each of them, you can use them. Because when you have just one tool, you cannot tailor. When you know just one framework, which is agile, even some people in the agile field working on agile project are not agile because they have just one tool which is agile, and they don't know any other things. So if you are not agile enough to change from agile to use other tools, then you are not agile. So it is about, I would say, tailoring is about the mindset. It's about having different tools and be flexible enough to change your tool.
Yeah, very good. I personally think, as a project management practitioner, that tailoring is really what we need as project managers. As much as we think we need AI, or as much as we think we need leadership, we need tailoring. It's no more like work in a company which sets a project management approach or methodology and says to 50 project managers, hey, please follow this approach and methodology. No, you need to know which processes to pick, which tools to use, how to run your project phases, how to transition from one phase to another. Maybe you need, as Eduardo said, You can have a pure construction project. Okay, it's a pure construction project, but in parts of it, you need to, use agile because you're going to develop a new solution for the customer which you did not work on before. So that's when you integrate agile. Or for example, also in a pure construction project, but the planning is so complex that you need to iterate on the planning until you come out with a plan for the project which you will run it then in waterfall, for example. So you plan in agile, then you manage it in waterfall or vice versa. I think, Rusbe, I think with this, we have, I think, covered most of the PMBOK 8, most of the topics. Did we miss anything, Rusbe? I think it was a great journey.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, it was a very interesting. It was a very really nice journey. First of all, everyone watching, I want to say big thank you to Rusbe. Really, it was a simple message. Yes, Daniel agrees. Daniel, I like that. It was a very simple message. It was a comment between me and Rusbe, then a chat, then the idea, and then we ran with the series. And we're so honored that we did this. Rusbe really was great bringing the team, from Mike, from Rich, from the ladies, Alejandra, everyone else. Now we're finishing with Eduardo. Really, thank you so much, Rusbe. It's been really great having you. We want to thank you so much. Everyone in the audience, please, if you enjoyed this series, please say big thank you to Rusbe. He's really a master coordinator behind this.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you for your host. I believe that the PMBOK 8 is the output of a team, a great team that had complementary skills. They had their own perspectives, and I would like to have them like the 2 years we worked together, to have their insight, to hear the story from themselves, because every of those people have their great stories, and I think it was a great opportunity for me to be here with those great guys and telling the story from our side. And I want to mention it is not just our effort. The project management community had a great insight in PMBOK 8. It is the most data-driven version that PMI had, because we had several inputs from several people in the project management community. And thank you, and thank you, Daniel, for having us here during these 5 weeks. And I hope people enjoyed from these episodes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Eduardo, for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I don't want to keep you guys longer. I don't know, maybe Daniel, is there any question in particular we want to take from the audience?
Most of them are just, again, agreeing with the team and all the amazing things that you guys said. There was one question that kind of caught my attention. It was right at the end. There was another one, but we kind of answered it. It says, can you help the audience understand the difference between being adaptive versus being agile?
Eduardo, do you want to go for that?
No. It's your question because you mentioned. So this is for you, Rusbe. Don't try to skip.
I think agile, as we know, agile is a methodology. But when you are using the combination of those, it is about adaptability. So I don't want to put these in equal. Adaptive is not equal agile, but using agile or changing between agile or other frameworks is about adaptability. So in my understanding, these two phrases are not equal, and these are not have the same meaning.
I can interfere if you want, guys. So, guys, we say being agile. Agile is the adjective, and it goes with many professions, in many areas. Not just in project management. So we can, can even use it in sports. For example, the first time I ever heard the word agile was in sports. Was like 1999. I heard it from our sport teacher talking about one girl who was very, agile in her body. So she said, "Oh, she's agile." Being adaptive means having the capability to adapt with different situations, with changes, different circumstances. So actually, agile is that adjective is so broad. Being adaptive describes a particular skill of being able to cope or adapt with circumstances and changes. Okay, so that's but in project management, in particular in the PMP exam, we don't make the bigger distinction. So when we say agile, even though we call it adaptive project management officially, okay, and even the PMP exam is more adaptive, but it could almost mean the same in some people's minds. Like we say waterfall and predictive, for example. Waterfall, predictive, people say, oh, it's almost the same, for example. Almost, yes, exactly, even though it's not exactly the same. Yeah.
If I want to add just one difference, I mean, the speed of adaptability, if you want to adapt with something with high speed, so maybe that makes you agile, because agile is about the speed of adaptability, but not all adaptive concepts can be called with agile, because you can adapt, but not in a high speed.
Yeah, thank you, Ruzbe. Thank you, everyone watching. It's been really a great journey. Thank you, Eduardo, again for really joining.
My pleasure.
Appreciate that. Appreciate you and all the core team. We guys, everyone watching, we are doing our best to share with you valuable project management content. If we ever have anything new to share with you, definitely we will come back to you guys. We will share it with the community. I personally want to say two things. I want with the team to work in 2026 on making it the project management awareness year. This is so important because I've been in the project management for almost 2 decades, and I know that not all companies value project management or understand project management or appreciate project management, even though I'm sure nearly half of what they do is project based or is an outcome of a project. So I want 2026 to be a project management awareness year. I know I already raised this to PMI's attention through different guests we had, and we can do it ourselves, guys. And the second thing I want, I will talk with Daniel about it, and I already talked with him about it. Is we want this year, 2026, to be project management community contributor year. So everyone can get a badge. Everyone can get really, something they can, whether it's a badge or something else, they can put on their profile. I will talk with Daniel about it. We'll come back to you guys about it. Really, let's make this a project management contributor year. Everyone can be contributor. Whatever you know about project management, you can share free course, you can share content, you can share advice, you can share a tip, you can share a podcast, you can share anything. But really, I want 2026 to be a project management year, okay? Because our profession is so important. We need more visibility on LinkedIn and other platforms, since 1/3 of the world's economy is based on projects, really. So as soon as we have more about this, we'll come back to you guys. Thank you so much. And keep in mind one last thing, which is project management is a practical thing. It's not just theory. It's not just books. It's not just, believe me, guys, Eduardo, Ruzbe, everyone on the team, you heard them. They're project management practitioners. Whatever they wrote, it's based on experience. It's based on research, experience, your input as a community. So it's not just theoretical, because many people say, PMBOK 8 or 7 or 6 or whatever versions is theory, it's impossible to apply. let me tell you this: I'm a living, breathing person in front of you, and I have always applied every single word in whatever PMBOK version since I started in 2007. Okay, so I will talk also with Rusbeh about this, and if there is anything we can come back to you guys about it, we will do it definitely. Thank you so much, everyone. Rusbeh and Daniel, please stay online with me offline. Eduardo, thank you so much. Grazie mille.
Ciao. Thank you very much. Really.
Thank you so
Happy New
much.
Year, my
Thank
friend.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Happy
everyone.
New Year. Bye.
So I'm ending the stream.